You are listening to the Mark Guzman Podcast Experience. On this episode, I have one special guest on this show. We're going to be drinking a Donovan Park Cab red wine that's phenomenal at $15 a bottle. And we're going to be talking about two passions of mine, digital marketing and real estate.
So what was the sip? I like that. When he called me, he's like, "Hey, so we're gonna be doing, sipping. Do you want beer or wine?" And doing sip and talk. And I was like, "All right, I kind of like that concept."
You go very casual.
Yeah, it's like you want red or white. I'm like, yeah.
I'm doing beer with a few people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shall we salute before our?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, man. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Success. Cheers to you behind the scenes as well.
Okay, I have to say that's a great wine.
Yeah, I like that.
Have you tried it already? Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah. So you're not gonna believe this. I bought this wine for $15.95 at Bevmo, and actually got 2 bottles because they have the 5-cent sale.
Really?
Yeah.
This is really tasty.
So with taxes out the door, it was $17 for 2 bottles.
2014.
Yeah, and this is really good, Cab.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Because he asked, and I was like, I just because I was doing the ketogenic.
Oh yeah.
So
are you still doing that?
No carbs, 5 months. I just switched. Now I'm a vegetarian. So I was like, you know what? Like carbs. I was like, if I go wine, I say a glass of wine, keeps you healthy, it keeps you, keeps you young, whatever it is. They always say something. I love it.
Just stood here.
Cool.
And then make sure you speak into the mic. If you
make sure I'm loud enough.
Yeah,
okay, now I can hear myself over here
that's
too.
perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Get some good acoustics. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
There you go. I should have you record the beginning intro to my podcast.
It was pretty good though.
Yeah.
No, I did a couple of videos too. You might catch them later on the stories and whatnot. So
okay.
Welcome for the Mark Guzman card. No.
Okay. Yeah. So for the listeners out there, I want to introduce my podcast guest today. He is the CEO and co-founder of SupportRE. He's now 3.5 years, right?
Yeah.
You've had the company?
Yeah. Actually, a little bit. We started the business model about 5 years ago, going on about 3.5 for the SupportRE brand. Yeah.
Okay, and then basically what SupportRE does is they come up with creating ways for realtors to market their services through one convenient place: social media, website design, branding, and they basically have all the tools realtors need to be successful. And we have Norman Kinsey III.
Awesome. Welcome myself. No. Thank you for helping me.
So
awesome.
I know recently you just went to see the eclipse up in Oregon, right?
Yeah, that was an experience. It was awesome. Went up there actually Friday. So went up there Friday morning and came back Tuesday to try to avoid the traffic, because we all know it was crazy. It was all over the news and the locals were talking about it. But it was nice. It was interesting. You actually had to really wear the glasses to see it. It's a little smoky out there, but with the glasses, you can actually be able to see it nicely. And I actually put the glasses up to the lens on my phone. And so I took a picture with that and it actually worked. And then it did get a little darker and it got cold too, which was very interesting because they said that would all happen. But we were about Southern Oregon, so 96% of it we got to see. We didn't get to see the full 100%, but we got to see 96%. So it's like, all right, now I want to go back and get the 100%.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess 100%, now I believe you know this, when is that going to happen? What year?
I don't know when. I think 2024 is the next time we have a total solar eclipse in the United States.
And I think it's supposed to go through San Francisco, I think. My uncle was telling me.
in 2023.
Okay.
It goes through California. But yeah, the next total is in 2024, and that goes through the southeast.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think the next one, you can catch it in Texas, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's where the next one is. And I think up...
yeah, I want to catch it next time. I missed it this time. I mean, you know how it is, work and everything.
Yeah. It's it's busy, got to do what you got to do. I just made sure to make a point to take some time, because you get so busy sometimes, and if you just don't take that time, you just won't.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, mom invited me. I just get to go for the ride. I might have to drive up. Big deal. Uncle has a 5th wheel, trailer, the whole 9, and it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did stream it from NASA's live stream on YouTube.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard they showed it going through the whole United States and kind of the different how it hit.
They did. Yeah. Okay. I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched it as soon as it hit Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
Now, are you religious, spiritual, or do you
I'm, I believe that there's definitely a higher power. I'm not like super, Christian or Catholic or anything like that. I was raised actually, I think it was Christian, and so my grandmother is Christian, and I believe my grandfather was Catholic. So I've kind of seen a little bit of both, but I'm not super religious now.
Did you get anything spiritual, any spiritual feeling from the eclipse?
The dog barked. I did get that. The dog was barking, so I was just like, okay, dog's barking. What's going on? It's getting a little
Well, you know what's
creepy.
trippy about that is when the eclipse happens,
Uh-huh.
all the nighttime animals come out because they get
Oh,
confused that it's nighttime.
yeah.
So they come out for about 2.5 minutes, whatever it is. And then,
Crickets.
yeah, and then they come right back out.
Interesting.
Do you
Okay.
notice? Did you experience that where you were?
The dogs were barking a little bit. I didn't really listen for like crickets or anything like that, but it did feel like it was probably 7, 8 o'clock at night, like right now at this time in summer. So it did feel like it was getting a little bit darker out. But I should have listened for that. I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. So are you gonna try to hit up the other ones when they come about?
Maybe we'll see. I mean, I don't know if I want to be an eclipse follower. I know there's people out there that go and follow the eclipse and try to go see them all, but I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I think I'll just wait for San Francisco, unless there's like some opportunity that it comes about, or I'm gonna expand SupportRE to Texas next year, so I might have to be out there, and then yeah, it'd be a perfect thing to go ahead and watch it at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we get into your company, Support RE here?
I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I know this is a big passion of yours, and you do help out. How many agents have you helped out to date, do you think?
To date, I've spoke with probably well over 700, and I've supported about 450 at one capacity or another, because we started off with our a la carte services, which you mentioned already, whether it's branding, print media, social media, websites, or landing pages. So about probably well over 450 agents.
Wow.
Yeah.
In just 3.5 years.
In about probably about 4 years, because the first year was kind of identifying and finding out the pain points, what they're going through. I actually called 350 agents at a local boutique brokerage there in Black Hawk, California, and from there found out their pain points to even just start the services alone, because I really needed to dive in and find out what are they going through before I even started anything.
Okay. So what made you decide to start or jump into social media and branding for realtors?
So I've always liked social. Social for me has been huge. I remember I had a friend of mine, and she was on, what was it, Facebook, and I look at her Facebook. She had 2,000 friends. I'm like, how do you have 2,000 friends? Like, that's amazing. And I found it so fascinating, and I wanted to figure out how I can get to 2,000 friends myself. And close, 1,700 now. And from there, I always liked YouTube as well, and videos, and felt that was very captivating. How you can get paid, and a lot of people don't know this, from YouTube. I got a buddy of mine that's getting paid 75,000 passive residual income just from YouTube from 650,000
Per
subscribers.
month or per year?
This is per year.
It's
So-
still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, almost $100,000, and you're just doing what you love to do, and,
Yeah.
and that's why I started on a whole other note, the Day in Life Entrepreneur Setting and Achieving Goals, a little YouTube thing that I do now just for fun. And then from there, basically, it just kind of snowballed into, I was running a personal assistance incorporated company, and from running that personal assistance company, it was too messy. I was out in the field and doing a lot of different work, and I wanted to be in the office. I was like, how can I be in the office? How can I do something kind of and not have to have a high overhead, low overhead, be in the office? And that's where I stumbled upon basically Jay Rockcliffe, because I didn't have a marketing budget. So that's actually who I called, the broker who I went through and called 350 agents, and then found out their pain points and found out that social could be a good avenue for agents to market on. That could be the next wave of the century for marketing. And then I found my business partner, Smith, and he was someone that worked at Google and had Smith Chung Designs that's no longer around anymore. And he was good with branding and marketing and used to work at Google. And so he was the introvert. I was the extrovert. I said, hey, I want to call these agents. Let's send out 10 emails a day. And let me just make phone calls as I was doing dog walking and chores and errands on this concierge concept that I had. And then it kind of turned into meeting, one agent that said, hey, I'm interested, let's meet. And then that turned into 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it snowballed. And then that's how we kind of came up with our initial service offering, with the brand, print, social, websites, and landing pages. And then they're like, we want leads. I'm like, how do we get them leads? And that's when we came up with basically our 4 programs: intro, bridge, ramp up, and excel. And then we're like, they want leads, they want more exposure. And how do we quantify that exposure? Well, online and farm exposure. Online could be a landing page or website or social, and farm could be a mailer, and tie that all in together. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now you said something that I think we need to touch upon just briefly. You said you called around, sent out emails, and eventually you hit up Jay Rockcliffe, and they gave you the first opportunity to get this started in.
So I didn't have a marketing budget. So I was like, how do I reach out to an industry without a budget? When you're a small business owner, it's just like, what do I get started? How do I reach into another market? And when I had the concierge, I was spreading myself really thin, and I was like, well, how can I focus just on one industry? And then I seen 438 agents, and a lot of these broker sites has everything. First name, last name, email, all the contact information. So I just put an Excel sheet together. I hand exported every single first name, last name, email, everything on an Excel document, and then started to send out 10 emails a day, and then followed up to that email with the phone call. And just
how many
ask
people
questions.
did you have to contact before you got the first yes?
I would have to say probably, 15 or 20. So until they were either curious and interested, or I remember the first one that I got. Oh man, she's awesome. And it was I'll go ahead and drop her name, Renee Lamb, and first one, and she's like, I'm interested. And she, there's a cycle, right? You have the early adapters, you have the early adapters, innovators, and then you have mass market and laggers. And she was definitely an early adapter. And she's like, I want to meet this and that other thing. And I remember signing her up, and how it felt, because it was just like, wow, you make these 10, 15, 20 calls, and then you get that yes, and you're like, all the no's go away, because you're like, I got that yes. And it just feels so great to have that happen.
Yeah, and I think a lot of business owners and even realtors don't understand how many calls you have to, how many emails you need to send out, how many calls you need to make, how many no's you have to go through before you get that one yes.
Yep.
And that's just marketing. That's just the way it is in every industry.
Yeah.
I mean, here you are trying to market to agents, and it took you so many no's to get to one yes.
Yep.
And that's what agents also need to do in their marketing, is
Most definitely
go through a ton of no's to get to a yes.
Exactly. And I think another thing too is understanding that, and we should all have an understanding that there's no such thing as instant gratification. Things take time. You have to put in the effort to be able to, get the fruits from your labor. And that's where I think the social media for a lot of realtors is hard for them, because they're like, man, I don't want to wait it out, or I don't want to adapt. I don't want to do these lives, and I don't want to do these pictures and things like that. So it's a struggle out there for them.
Yeah,
for sure.
So who do you try to get as clients? I mean, are you focusing right now on basically any agents that need your help, or are you trying to focus more with big companies and connecting with like the J. Rockcliffes, Keller Williams, Remax, and see if you can provide some larger
scale type service? Yeah. So right now we focused on a lot of the individual agents, just because there's a lot to work out, right? There's holes and things that you have to do, and you have to really figure out what are the pain points, what are they going through, what works, what doesn't work, to get to a point where then you could say, okay, now it's time to go after a brokerage. Another thing for us as well is we didn't want to go too fast, too quick, and just overload. If we overload the staff, and our services aren't up to par in the standard that we really want them to be at, then it's not gonna, because words travel quick, and you get one negative thing that turns into someone else talking and someone else talking. Before you know it, the whole world knows, and then that one story turned into something completely opposite. And so we wanted to make sure we start off with just working with individual agents. Whether you're a new agent looking to kind of get into the business and want some information, ask you some questions, do the online evaluation, put things in perspective. Maybe you're an agent that's had some success looking to ramp things up, then we can do the same type concept, ask some questions, online evaluation, then put them into a program that's going to be a little bit more aggressive with the online and farm exposure approach. Or maybe you're a top producer, or you want to start a team and you want to put the marketing on autopilot, so then you can be able to go and look for team members, or look for additional clients to grow your business.
Sell properties, because that's really what most agents are good at.
Exactly. Yeah.
In fact, it's funny going to different real estate conferences between the Association of Realtors, like California National, Inman Conference. One of the biggest complaints from agents is that they suck at marketing, and they don't get the tools from their brokers
Yep.
to do marketing.
Yep.
And one of the easiest ways to fix that is to hire a company like yours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a big thing too. And it's interesting because the number one question a lot of agents get in a formal listing presentation is how are you different? How do you differentiate yourself? Or can you cut your commission? Can you give us, say for instance, 1 or 2% less than the next agent? And it's I tell them all the time, leverage like social media tools, or leverage your own brand, social media, your own website, to put emphasis on how do you differentiate yourself. Maybe a video walkthrough tour, something that simple that agents should be using to show them and showcase them, here, this is what we have. And you have to build a value. And then if you build a value, then they'll be like, okay, I see what you're doing that's different. And I tell agents all the time, something this simple. Do a video that could be a kind of like an intro video. And before you go to the formal listing presentation, you already have it recorded. So you don't have to think at the presentation. You can already have it thought through, script, put the video together. It could just be you in front of a camera. And then put that and send it to them, and so they can watch it. And then they can look at who you are, maybe, some of your testimonials, maybe say, for instance, how you market, and then they can have an idea who you are before they meet you. And then they'll meet you and they'll be able to connect the rest of the dots, or even have questions for you already, and you're already differentiating yourself from the next agent by just doing that alone.
Yep. Yeah, when I first started in the business, what I used to do, and this was before Facebook was huge or anything, I would send a copy of my listing presentation in advance to the seller. Even if it was a buyer, I would find out their mailing address, send them a buyer presentation packet, and basically get them prepped for what I'm going to tell them, what my fees are, and services. Because, it makes a big difference. And now with online, the website, Facebook, people can research you. People do research you.
Yeah.
And they go onto my website, they look at my brochure, they see what my fees are, and I would say 80-90% of the time, my fees do not even come up in presentation meetings, and they just want to work with me.
Yeah, it's huge, and you're already building the value before you even meet them, which is big. And I think that a big disconnect, and something that I hear all of the time, is they say, oh, well, I'm busy with these listings, but now my prospecting, all these other things are falling behind the wayside, because I don't think that agents think 10 steps ahead of themselves. A big reason why we're here today for SupportRE is because, if a broker gets bought out, or something happens with the brokerage, or they lose their CRM and website to go to another third-party company, then the pain points of learning that tool all over again is hard. You have to go through that whole process of learning that new tool and what have you. So it's just like, we want to give them the ability to have that. Have your own website, your own print, your own marketing collateral, so you don't have to go in and have to relearn everything again and go through that whole process again. It's something that is simple, it's easy, and it's theirs and yours to control. But then it's just like, they don't want to pay more money, of course. Yeah. So that's another thing as well.
Okay. So let's dive into some of the services. You mentioned Intro, Bridge, Ramp Up, Excel. Why don't you explain a little bit more of what those programs are and how they help agents?
I'm going to hand you one of our handy dandy brochures. I brought them today.
These are brand new, right?
Brand new. They just came out. And so I wanted to go ahead and hand it to you. So we'll go ahead and open it up. So basically, as you can see, brand, print, social, landing page, websites on the inside there on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, when you first open it up, it shows you some examples of our work. And then the Intro, Bridge, Ramp Up, and Excel. So I wanted to line it out so you can at least see some of the stuff that at least the Intro and Bridge has. With the Intro, it's nice because we want to give them an intro plan, a plan of action to start the process, into which, how do you kind of just get in and break in with maybe the online medium. So a basic brand with the Intro program was going to be featuring like their name, and doing a nice background picture that could be showcased on, say, for instance, those social accounts there that we set up, the Facebook, the Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. Keeping that brand consistent, so we'll check that for the brand consistency. Account access document, a lot of agents are like, I can't remember how to get into my accounts, usernames, passwords, I don't know where to find it. So we put together something simple for them so they can find their usernames and passwords. Google Places account, basically officially registering their Google Places account, which is nice, so that way they can be found on Google, and it's free to them off of their Google Plus account. And then, what do we do monthly? Well, 5 social media updates per week on all the social media, plus the hashtagging, and then the relationship manager. We basically give them instead of a lot of these companies say they do like a lot of automation, right? And it's kind of like a system that just automatically posts. We give them a live representative that actually will respond to emails and follow up with them on a weekly basis, so we can make sure that they have activity on their social, because they should have their listings on their social media. They should have coming soon, just sold, just as community events, broker tours, maybe even office listings, you know, so that way, even if they don't have a listing, they potentially can utilize their connections, as those could be potential buyers, you know, the people that follow them.
So what do you post for the 5 social media updates?
So like I said, it could be their listing, coming soon, just sold. It could be maybe a community event happening, farmers market, something going on in the community. You know, also we want to have them, and we always tell them, you know, if you're going to use anything, use Instagram. Post on Instagram, and then when that picture automatically goes onto Twitter and Facebook, we'll put that onto the Google Plus and say, for instance, to LinkedIn, because, you know, it's all about the brand story. You have to have your own brand story out there so people can connect with you as an individual. And that's where it's a huge disconnect, because these agents aren't doing that. They're not even thinking to themselves. They're thinking about like more of a negative way of thinking about it. Oh, I don't want to post what I had for breakfast and what I had for lunch. It's like
That's literally the most common like phrase so many people use.
I've heard it so many times.
Yeah.
And it's just like all the time. And it's just like, it's not just that. It's, you know, it's putting, and you can make it up however you want, you know, putting a little bit of a clip of, oh, so what do you do throughout the week? I go on broker's tour. You know, here's a little snippet or a picture of a collage of a home that you went and viewed. Because people don't understand that, I mean, to leverage social media, it's so easy to put an address out there or use some hashtags and leverage, you know, the address, because it's all over online when it goes on the MLS, or the hashtags. And the hashtagging, what's special about the home? Hashtag the pool, hashtag natural lighting, vaulted ceilings, things like that, to add more value and to be able to attract people to view that post. So long story short, you know, we want their activity. We want to do any community events. And of course, if they have like a website with us, then we can put call to actions, whether it's determine what your home value is worth, view my website, search for homes, things like that. And that's getting into a higher level, you know, tier. But with at least
Are these ramp up in Excel programs?
Yeah. So the Excel program is the one that really is going to excel their business and offers everything from their website to also, say, for instance, and we don't have, of course, we can't give it all here away on the brochure, but that one basically is going to be the next level to like the bridge, right? The bridge is when you start getting into mailers, Facebook marketing campaigns, tracking what's happening with like who goes to my landing page, you know, and who's entering to win and who's watching my video. So then you can start tracking what's really happening, say, for instance, on the landing page forefront. And then they just came out with something really cool, Facebook Pixel. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yep. So the Facebook Pixel, we plant that in to the landing page for retarget marketing. So then if you have 200 people that go to your landing page, maybe 50 people enter to win, you can retarget market to those other 150 people with the Facebook marketing campaign, which is nice.
One neat trick, and since we're doing a Facebook Live, and
I don't know what happened. It looks like you want to see if you could try to turn it back on. I don't know if it just went black.
It might still be recording. I see the light blinking. No, disconnected.
It looks like I might have disconnected over there. We might have to get that going yet again. I don't know what happened.
Okay, now we're live again.
So sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. The Facebook Live, for some reason, you missed a good portion of it. But
you know, when we were doing it for the CAR YPN, we had a few cutouts like that.
Really?
Yeah, and what we had to do, and I'm not quite sure why, but we basically had 2 or 3 people live streaming so that we had someone was going to have some reliable video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So going back to the pixels and, in fact, even retargeting.
Yeah.
You can take the Facebook Live viewers, take that targeted demographic, and create another audience based on who actually watches your Facebook Live.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, Facebook now makes it so you can actually put in an Excel document, and you can put the Excel document into Facebook now, and you can actually, because, you know, email marketing is kind of a thing of the past almost now, because there's so much regulation on it. So now you can put the email list into Facebook, and then you can actually target to them as well. And it gets a little more pricey. I could tell with Facebook, the more specific you get, the more pricey it gets.
It does, but you're going to get better leads typically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They know how to work it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but I love Facebook marketing. Like I use that all the time. I've used it to grow my followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've used it to, and for me, because I do mainly property management and I do home sales also, but it's mainly property management. One thing that when I was building my page, I wanted to focus, obviously I want to get landlords because they give me the business and then that's how I make money.
Yeah.
But what I decided to do was focus on a page solely around renters and tenants.
Interesting.
And so I built an audience around that, and I advertised to them, my listings, that sort of thing, get the reach. And then I use that to advertise it to my landlords and tell them, hey, I have, 10 to 15,000 reach per post.
Yeah.
And so overall in a month, I might have anywhere from 50 to 100,000 people that I'm reaching.
That's huge.
37,000 engagements.
Yeah.
And I've got the data to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone loves data. Everyone likes the data because then you can look at it. And that's what we always do with our clients is we have, say, for instance, the landing page. And then we want to basically be able to say, okay, well, we can track who goes there, who watches the video, who enters to win. And then the Facebook pixel is one more layer onto that. So, it's layering those various different things on there. So then that way they could see, oh, okay. But it's funny because everyone thinks it's like, oh, instant gratification. We get to get this return on my investment so quick. I don't know how many stories I could tell you that these agents think it's that quick, and it's just like it's like give it time.
I started my Facebook page in 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 6 years in the making, and it's a decent size for any real estate agent right now, but it doesn't even come close to some of the huge Facebook pages out there. Now, what's your opinion on direct mail marketing? I see you do some direct mail marketing. How do you track stats on that, or what's your opinion? Do you see it fading out? Is it still effective?
I think you have to tie in technology with it. So say, for instance, I actually have a couple mailers here. I mean, the listeners can't really see it unless you're on the Facebook Live. You could see it if you're on the Facebook
link it up.
Live. Awesome. So basically, like say, for instance, let me give you one. This is this guy here. I'm going to give him a shout out. Christian Avalon. He's awesome. He's someone that is big on social media, big on videos. He actually, his Facebook video just came out. So what we're doing with these is we're strategically doing a gift back. So a gift card give back to drive traffic to, say, for instance, christiangivesback.com. And the first thing that comes up is because, traditionally it's just listed, right? Just sold, just listed to determine what my home value is. But doing something specific with a gift back, with a gift card, you're getting a different barrier to entry into that farm. Right. So that way you can still get their contact information, first name, last name, email address. They might not be interested to buy a house today, but we ask them, do you or someone else, looking to buy or sell a home? So I think it's still here. I think it's how you use it and not being, because the traditional title rep gives you a list, and then you use the list, and then these don't even have any address or name on it. So that's one thing. And another thing is we're going through the United States Postal Service, so it saves you $1 or $2 when you go through the United States Postal Service, because we can get these down to 40 cents a pop. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more effective there. But I like the fact that there's a toss up, right? Because with online media, there's so much coming at you all the time, and it's not tangible like a mailer's tangible. It's something that's a little bit more tangible. You can hold it, you can feel it, you can see it, and then you can translate what you see in your hand to an online vertical. So that's my take on it. We'll see what happens. I think that a lot of the old school agents think that, hey, this is how it's worked for me for years. It's not going anywhere. We're going to keep it. I just think that now with data and tracking, I think there's going to be more strategic mailers as what you see that we have moving forward than a just listed, just sold with a phone number and an email address.
Yeah. And I think you're eventually going to see, because right now no one checks their mail. I check my mail maybe every 3 months, and I hate like stuff like just a whole bunch of marketing pieces, right?
Yep.
But I really think that's going to change at some point, because as more and more people go digital, eventually no one's getting any mail. So to get something in your mailbox is then going to be unique. I mean, it's like email marketing too. Remember when email started, everyone checked their email, everyone read everything. And now, unless it's super relevant to me, like it's my business,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at an email.
No.
Yeah, or I filed it away to be read at another date, which most 90% of the time I don't read them.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I got a business card. I went to a networking event on Tuesday, and I got a business card. It was no email address, no website address. It only had a phone number, Cal BRE, and a name, social media links, and believe it or not, he put his Bitmoji on the card. So
that's pretty neat.
It was neat. It was different. So you had to go through the social media, and then you had to use his I think it was @Agent Vic, and it just sticks out in my head. And you have to connect with them on the social, which is a different, and then or just call them or text them, but it was a different move, right? So then I actually had to do some digging in order to find the email. And I think, with the mailers, it's nice, and what we think here at SupportRE is that we're ready to pivot either way. The mailers are nice because for the older agent, say like this individual here, who's used to it, then we can easily be able to reach out to,
and it still works. It's not that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just costs a lot of money, mainly because of postage.
Well, I'll give you an example. So depending on the demographic, we did one here in Oakland, and we only sent out 500. We got 30 responses and a closing within 90 days.
That's really good.
Yeah, from the mailer.
Only on 500?
Yeah. So, but if you go to Alamo, they don't care, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how do we enhance it to the next level where we might put together a call center. So if you're a busy agent, you don't have time to call these leads, and the call center will help you be able to call the leads for you. Or if you need some coaching, that could be another thing as well for a premium add-on. So we're looking at how do we tie those various different things in, so that way they can really maximize what they're getting with us and make sure that they follow it all the way through. Because it's interesting. A lot of real estate agents, bless their heart, they're awesome, but they throw too much money at the wall to see what sticks, and and then they find out this doesn't work, and then they cancel it and they try another thing, and it's a vicious cycle instead of going through one company and really putting in 110% effort to see if it actually is going to work and to do something for ROI and do something to really help their business.
Yeah. Now a lot of these mailers, they don't go back like if I get this in the mail, I see the website, I type the website in, it doesn't take me to that agent's website, but it takes me to a landing page.
That's correct. So
why don't you explain a landing page?
So a landing page could be used in multiple different ways, whether, say, for instance, you want to determine what your home value is worth, or you want to do a strategic give back like what we're doing here. Basically a landing page is one call to action. You capture their, first name, last name, email, phone number, just to get their information, and that's it. And then from there, they can scroll down and look at testimonials or view the website from there. But the landing page is nice because a website sometimes has too much going on. And search for homes, cities, this, that, and the other thing. And so with the landing page, it's nice because it keeps things simple. And then you can track who goes there. You can put a Facebook pixel there. You could do some retarget marketing, throw up a nice little YouTube video. I think landing pages are really nice. And if you can set up different landing pages with different campaigns, and you can run like a Facebook ad, and you can direct market to, maybe a specific niche group and drive that traffic to that landing page, then, there's a lot that come out of that for sure.
Yeah, perfect. So why don't we jump into some social media strategies for realtors?
I love that conversation. Let's do it.
Okay, so why don't let's give the listeners and your Facebook Live viewers some solid, tangible advice that they can take back, like literally today, and start putting into their business. So what's a new and unique way of marketing your business as a realtor?
I'll give you a really, really good one. So let's talk Instagram. So Instagram is a whole other topic coming kind of on Snapchat, right? So now I call it Insta Snap. So you can go and swipe over, and you can do an Insta Snap. And I'm going to pull up my phone, and I'm going to Insta Snap this right now. And so with the Insta Snap, you can basically, it's pretty cool. You can basically send a video to anyone in your followers, and anyone in your followers directly a direct little snap of a video. So what I tell agents is I said that what you can do is this is great for an open house event. Normally it's a sign-in, right, for your open house event. So what you do is you'll have the sign-in, but then you'll do a give back, right? So you're going to say, I'm going to give back, I'm going to give away this great bottle of wine. So you have the bottle of wine, the sign-up sheet, and it says, sign in, and then, if you'd like to enter for this wine bottle, follow me on my Instagram. They follow you on the Instagram. So it says follow on Instagram and like the most recent picture posted. Well, guess what? The most recent picture is the home. Front yard, backyard, whatever, a little collage of the home. They walk around, you're sitting there, you know, at the kitchen and you're waiting for them, talking to some other people. Next thing you know, you got a follower, you got a like on your Instagram. You're like, oh, this is cool. This is actually doing something. And then they walk around the home and it's kind of like an icebreaker, right? You're not going into the gizzard. You're not just trying to give me your business now. It's like, oh, so it looks like I seen here. Are you, you know, Ann Smith or whatever? Yeah, I just followed you. I like the picture. I love that wine. Oh, great. Yeah, I thought I'd do something different. You know, and then you can kind of get into what'd you think about the house and those type of conversations. And then you can tie it in where you could say, hey, you know, I go on broker's tour. Do you know what that is? Oh, no, I don't. Because everyone loves education. If you can educate someone, they're going to be more likely to use your service. So you educate them. Yeah, so I go on broker's tour. I look at homes. Are you working with a realtor right now? Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, well, fantastic. Are you looking to buy a home? Is that what that brought you here? Yes, I'm looking for, you know, a home. What type of criteria are you looking for? And you're taking notes at the same time you're talking to them. And then you go into Instagram and you say, well, check this out. So I have this Instagram, you know, basically, or Insta Snap, whatever you want to call it, story mode, where I can take basically little snaps of bedrooms, backyards, whatever the specific traits you're looking for. While you're at work, I'll send you a direct video message. So there's no email, there's no phone call, there's no follow-up. It's
all through Instagram.
It's all through Instagram. And you can keep track of everything in Instagram in the feed, all the communication. It's right there. So next thing you know, your Instagram turns into your CRM, your video marketing tool. I mean, it's all in one app. And I think that it's reverse engineering as to how do you specifically use these tools in your, you know, in your own way, thinking outside the box to make it use it to add more value to your business, add more value to someone else, differentiate yourself, just like kind of what you're doing and you still are probably doing with your Snapchat.
Yeah.
I remember you're the first person you taught me about the
geofilters.
Yeah, geofilters.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing for open houses. You can still have the giveaway. And in fact, if you go to Bevmo, buy 2 of these for $17.
Yeah.
Because the second one's 5 cents.
Yeah.
Now you do 1 giveaway for Instagram, 1 giveaway for Snapchat, and you create a geofilter for Snapchat, and you can do the same contest. And you still capture their screen name.
Which is perfect, right? And then you can go and you could easily be able to, you know, get them to share it. Their friends and their family see it, and or whoever follows them. I mean, that's a huge, huge value add too.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I know obviously this podcast is one of the new things I'm trying to do, and videos,
I'm a supporter. No.
Videos is another big thing that I've actually been doing videos since 2011.
Wow.
Just on and off load, not consistent, not like a ton of videos. And now I'm getting ready to launch more of a blog series or a vlog series where it's literally just following me around and showing what I do behind the scenes.
Day in the life?
Day in the life, yeah. Because a lot of people think as a manager, I literally just collect rent checks and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't understand everything that really is behind the scenes between getting places ready, between actually marketing, renting them, managing them on a day-to-day basis, all the issues that come up, managing a team, office, and then everything I'm involved in with the association and different organizations. So I think video is definitely a big one. And I know you're now doing video. You're doing video a lot more consistently than I am. In fact, you're posting a video is literally every day, right?
So every day I'll do a video, like say, you know, I do my workout thing, right? So I do, you know, 8-week, 12-week challenges, and I'll videotape that. You know, every day I'm doing something on the story. So kind of have a good day or what have you. And now I got really into doing the picture with my logo on every picture and like a quote over the picture. So I'm starting to get into that. I actually, another really good tip, everyone out there, download Logo Pit. Logo Pit, so Logo, P-I-T, Logo Pit is awesome because it's just like Photoshop, but on your smartphone, and you can do different layers, and you can layer your logo and a picture and text, and then you can go into Instagram, put a nice filter, and you post it out there, and it's one of the most effective ways to market. And if it's a eye-catching, grabbing, great photo, then they might share it, and your logo's there, and boom, you get that automatic, you know, exposure with that logo being there.
Yeah, I did that one time on Facebook a few months ago, and the results were great. Yeah, a ton of feedback, reactions, comments, likes.
That's awesome.
It's just a matter of consistency.
Yeah,
you know, it's just with work, family, everything going on,
Mhm.
just being consistent.
Yeah. I see that you hired your liaison here, so you have
Yeah, Sam, he's our
Sam.
producer here for the podcast.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, he called me up, and I was like, "Man, this is professional."
Glad we could fool you.
Love it. Yeah, the consistency. What I've done is it's nice because there's always moments of inspiration, right? Whatever that it is that you're doing. And so I try to take those moment of inspiration, like driving here, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do a Facebook story, I'm gonna do an Instagram story, I'm gonna do a Snapchat a little story really quick and share it with people, because I think that the biggest thing is that putting things in perspective for other young individuals that want to be someone like you or I, and someone who's successful, like they want to understand, because it's one thing to show up in a Ferrari or Lamborghini or a nice car or whatever, have a nice house, but how did you get that?
Well, 90% of those are rented. Rented for the post, not even rented for the month.
Don't be fooled about those music videos.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. So there's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn. A lot of these different things can get very overwhelming for people.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just, you got to just start. You got to do something.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people get mind blocked on perfection.
Yeah.
They try to be perfect. And
Yeah.
you know what? You're running a small business. You're an
Mhm.
agent. You're a realtor.
Mhm.
It's a small business. You're not going to be the next Oracle, the next Google or
No.
Apple. Like, don't worry about perfection.
Exactly.
Just do you. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I like to say to tie into that is you think about it like a brand story, right? If you're a growing entrepreneur, and we'll use Christian Avalar here. Christian is someone that's a growing entrepreneur, and he might not be perfect. I might not be perfect, but if they're following you, and as you evolve, they evolve with you. There's more value in that than them seeing it and it being so polished, and then next thing you know, they don't really know anything about who you are, how'd you get there, nothing, and you don't get those true followers from the beginning. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. So Snapchat.
All right.
Are you using Snapchat?
I am using Snapchat. That's probably the one I'm not as consistent with. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as I got the Bitmoji, you know what I'm saying? I just updated them. I got shaved face now, I got the glasses on them. But yeah, I try to use Snapchat.
Do you have the Infinity logo? Because I know you love that Infinity.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just picked up that one, and I'm a car guy, so that's something that's more of like a passion for me. It's fun, it's different, and I'm like to put that out there, and so.
Well, that's what Snapchat's all about. Is really who you are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Exactly.
And that's why people follow you. Why people watch your stories.
Yeah. It's a huge, because it's a one thing to show like, whatever, like a post online, and, and that might be motivational or whatever else, but then behind the scenes is exactly that. It's like, who are you?
Yeah. Now, if you do a Snapchat, okay,
Mm-hmm.
do you save that same post, whether it's a photo or video,
Mhm.
and then do you put that on Facebook and Instagram stories? Like copy it, or do you try to natively do your own thing on each of the channels?
I think natively I just do my own thing. And I think to kind of go back a couple steps to what you said about how people think it's so overwhelming and it's this, that, and the other thing. And then you said exactly what they should do. Just do it. It doesn't matter how overwhelming it is. Like, life in itself could be overwhelming just to get up and, oh my God, I got to get dressed and I got this. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? But then they don't want to adapt to it. But I kind of, like I said, like you just asked, like I'm more native to each one. It's just, it's like some are on point exactly, and sometimes they change up a bit. So.
Okay. Now, you run some of these social media for agents, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And do you have a few clients to where you're they're hands off on social media and you're 100% hands on?
Yeah, there are some clients that are hands off, and we are 100% just hands on with it. And that's what actually just this week in the weekly meeting we were talking about. How do we give more emphasis on supporting these realtors and doing something different, right? And that's where it's just like it's a balancing act, because when you want to grow and expand from 70 clients to 170 clients and so on and so forth, which is a huge goal of ours, we're actually for everyone out there, we're going to be hiring some people that you may all know to help us with sales, and so we can really be able to buckle down and offer more value, engaging content, because there's companies out there that do like the A/B, like, do you like this backyard or this kitchen? And that's kind of unique, but it's kind of old and outdated now. So usually we want the clients to be somewhat hands-on. If they're 100% hands-off and they don't talk to us and they don't say anything, we get a little scared because they're like, hold on, where are you at? What's going on here?
Yeah. So how do you work with your clients to showcase who they are to their customers?
So a lot of it is from the development process. So when we first develop anything like a mailer or brand or any of that type of thing, we want to make sure that it's disseminated and consistent on the various different social media first and foremost, right? We want to make sure that consistency's there. And then another thing is the hashtags, right? And giving them their own hashtag, which would be like their brand name. So that way that would be cataloged. And then they can even say, if they're going to talk about, oh, this is, say, for instance, a different way that I market and I can market your home, they can search their hashtag and see all of the various different postings that we do for them. So those are a couple things that we're doing for them specifically. But, you know, with a program, if they're on a bridge or ramp up Excel, we give them video scripts and calling scripts. And the videos would be like a Facebook marketing campaign video or, say, a landing page video. And we can put that also onto, like, say, for instance, their social media. And then when we get to that next step and I can hire a couple more key players, then we can really smooth out the process and work on maybe a coaching aspect in a sense where we can get these agents to really buckle down and start focusing on at least get us a one video a month, right? And that one video a month will add way more value to their brand story than none.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned hashtags. How important are hashtags, and do you have a generalized rule on how many hashtags you should use?
So we use as a company like 5 hashtags. That's something that we use just to keep it simple. You know, rule of thumb for me on hashtags, what I'll do is I like to hashtag things that are relevant to whatever I'm posting. And I might even continue the sentence. So I might do something about the gym and then, you know, put in bodybuilding, lean gains, things like that, because those hashtags, especially with like Instagram and say, Instagram's a good one, started with Twitter, you know, they give you exposure for sure. Like there's over 7.5 million just individuals hashtagging real estate on just Instagram. So it's very important. And then from there, I always do a Movement's Coming, SupportRE, Real Estate Support, Realtor Worldwide. I do that on every single one of my posts. And so for our clients, 5. For me specifically or personally, if you're also personally going to do it, play around with it, have fun with it. A lot of individuals, and this is a good tip, is you go into your notes or memo in your smartphone, and then you can put together some hashtags and just line them all out and save it. And that's so after you do, yeah, you copy and paste and put it in. Yeah. So that could work to your benefit as well. But from my personal experience, I've actually had more success with putting specific hashtags in the post than just copy and pasting, because I probably could copy and paste that last part. A Movement's Coming, SupportRE, yada, yada. I probably should do that one. That's actually, I'm going to do that after this podcast now. That's a big thing, guys out there and girls. Take action automatically. Last night I was hanging out with a friend of mine. She's a teacher. She's awesome. And she said there was some disconnect from my bio on Instagram. So I did a post today talking about the bio to try to tie in a little bit of everything and just in general so people can get an understanding of kind of like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, because Instagram does not allow in the actual comments any links outside of Instagram. So you have to really use those posts to then direct them to the bio, where that's where you link up your website, or if you link up a new podcast episode, a new video on YouTube, that's where you link it up where people can go off-site.
Another thing too that they came out with is on the Instagram story, you can actually swipe up to go to a different location, but you have to get your Instagram verified. And I did some research on verification of the Instagram page, and some accounts have it, is from what speculation. Some accounts just have it. Some accounts you have to be, I believe, at like 250, a million, followers before you can get verified, or you have to be like a public figure. Because believe it or not, I've had probably 2 or 3 already fake Instagram accounts made on just me already. From people out there that, because I come from all different walks of life over the years. And I guess people are confused and they like to, make another me. I don't know.
Yeah. I've looked into that Instagram verification also. And it looks like it comes down to if there could be confusion. Like in your case, fake accounts. I
Yep.
think you can go ahead and email Instagram, and there's a specific person you can email and let them know that there's fake accounts being
Yeah.
brought up, and then they can go through your other social media accounts, verify that it's legit you,
Okay.
and then you can get that verification button.
All right.
So they do that verification button, obviously, because people make up fake accounts, especially for
Yeah.
celebrities or other businesses.
yeah.
But there's not really an application process for it. They just automatically do it on their own.
Got it.
And no one really knows how they do that. But the people that have been able to, they know a guy who knows a guy who knows a cousin of a guy, right? What they say is they go through all these different accounts, day by day, and that's literally their job, and just to see, well, can this account get mixed up with another account? Are there fake accounts? Is it a legit business or public figure?
Yeah.
And then that's how they determine
Got
the
it.
verification.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping if by chance anyone at Instagram is actually listening or watching the Facebook Live, please verify my Instagram. I got my Facebook verified
I second that.
a couple months ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that it transfers over and
So did that get verified on the business side then?
on the business side, yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'll have to look into that as well. Cause like we talked about, for these agents out there and anyone watching, or listening, just go and do it. What we're talking about is the next level. It's a little bit deeper. It's a little bit, okay, how do you verify? How do you this? How do you that? And that's a whole nother conversation. But, when you get to a place where we are, you can then do that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Now, video. Video is a big topic at every real estate conference, every real estate office is talking about video. You just don't see a lot of people doing video because, well, I mean, when you have to record, then you have to edit, and then you actually have to post it.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem that people have is, well, what am I going to video? You run out of topics, you run out of content. So, what's your take on it?
Video. So, I mean, there's so many strategic ways to do video. I mean, anything from, something simple like a Snapchat little video that's literally 5-10 seconds or whatever that amount is on that now, to an Instagram snap, to an Instagram actual just normal video, which is 1 minute. And which is nice with I'll use Instagram as an example, is you can hit the little button, record for a couple seconds, let go, and it kind of goes through an editing process itself. Now, when you're talking about doing something professional, maybe like a video walkthrough tour with an end and a beginning and some music, now you're getting into a whole nother gamut. Now you're talking about, okay, now you need a software or you're using iMovie. You got to get the music, and then there's going to be copyright infringements and all those other things that come into basically doing a video on YouTube. So I would suggest starting off simple, which what I've done is start off simple, use the social platforms and their technology. Use their video technology, use their little filters, use what they already have. If you don't know how to use it, go to YouTube, type it in, how to maximize or do a great, Instagram video, and I'm sure you'll find something.
You'll find 2,000 videos on how to do it.
Yeah. Easily. And then from that process, then move forward into okay, now you want to get into YouTube, and how do you do what you want to do with YouTube and take it to the next. And then you can go in, YouTube that as well. And what I did was I found a free editing software. So when I started the YouTube series, The Day in Life Entrepreneur Setting Achieving Goals, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to this can't be that hard. You know what I'm saying? And, I like to go into the office on Sunday night after food prepping and get some things done and get myself prepared for the week and put the next video out. And I found a free software system. And it's interesting how things evolve, because I found the software and then I put the videos out, and then a couple people reached out to me. They say, hey, you want free music? Here's a link. Then I downloaded the free music, and then I don't have to worry about the copyright issues. And it kind of just went into it flowed. Same thing with the logo, like the NLK3 logo. Believe it or not, I don't waste my team's time on that. I just did it on the side with Logo Pit myself, and I kind of figured it out and laid things on and everything else, and it just came together.
Yeah.
So.
And a tip for looking for free music, you can go to SoundCloud.
Okay.
And you can filter by commercial free use. And there's a lot of people that upload music, and they'll select a box that people can download the music and use it for commercial free runs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What's interesting that you just mentioned that, because it just triggered something for me, is that video. Another really good thing about video is that, like, the day in life entrepreneur setting achievement goals, like, I think less people than more know that it's like, if you're an entrepreneur, you write things down, right? Or you try to better yourself. So if I can go back and watch a video that I did 2, 3, 4 weeks back and watch the evolution, it helps. Like right now, like, I got so much going on. I'm going to listen to this podcast probably in 2 or 3 days, and I'll get these tips that you're telling me right now, and I'll go ahead and I'll just use them at that time. Because I'm not taking notes. I probably should try to pay attention. But that's the thing about technology. Whether you want to record what's going on a video forefront or a podcast forefront, and put emphasis on that, because it's strategic. It's a great way to be able to remember things, and have a log where you don't have to remember it and you can go back and watch it.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter today asked me why I decided to start a podcast. And it's another tool to get in front of people, another tool to expose my name out there to the world.
Yeah.
And little by little, it's just that added exposure. And the way I see podcasting right now is very similar to, like, when I got into the business in 2003.
Yeah.
There were realtors that would write a book, publish one copy of this book, set it on their desk, and that's it. But they made sure that people coming into their office saw that book, and people would be like, "Oh, you're a published author?" And, well, yes, I am. And all of a sudden, it added credibility to that agent and what they were telling that client.
Yeah, it makes
and so podcasting is very similar, except it's 2017 now, and I think that's where podcast is going.
I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, it's the wow factor. It's individuals watching right now. They're like, what is going on? And that's so fascinating. And who and what and why, and it's a snowball effect where I'm posting your stuff out there and tagging you, and we're cross pollinating each other's connections. And it's starting to grow even more. And I think another thing too, for the listeners out there is that I always tell anyone who's going to become an entrepreneur, have a foundation first, then to take it to the next level. Because you started this podcast, but you hired someone who's supporting you and helping you with the process. You're not just doing everything yourself.
And I've also been in the business 14 years. And before any of this, also built up a staff of 5.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work prior to even getting to this level. But it's also, it's also because I wanted to do it this way. You could do podcasting with a simple lapel mic attached to your iPhone.
Yeah, this is pretty legit here, man. You got 2 stations here. I mean,
thank you.
Gotta get this. You got a home over here too, man.
Yeah, I mean, so you don't even have to go this route when you start.
Yeah.
It's literally maybe a $20 lapel mic connected to your iPhone, and you can start podcasting and post it to websites.
Yeah.
And most of the websites are free to post on,
Yeah.
like the services like Libsyn, Podbean. It's really cheap and simple to do.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's cool. But obviously, you're doing something right. People are asking questions, right? We did so we started this email newsletter for our clients. Want to add more value, have a lot of things happening. And so we talked about the Facebook Pixel. One of our clients reached out to us and they asked some questions, and they're like, "Oh, shouldn't you already be doing this and that?" It's just like, well, that's another conversation, but it's causing interest. It's causing people to see and see additional value, and then from there prompt them to do something for themselves as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So we've already ran over the time right now.
Oh, wow.
And I know we could keep going easy for another hour here.
Yeah, 2:44.
Now, you're coming back next week
Yep.
to be on our new series, Real Estate at Large.
Love it.
And that's literally sitting down, and we're just going to jam out, great advice on certain real estate topics.
Okay.
I believe we have you and Ronald Garcia coming in to do the
Awesome.
show.
Okay.
So that should be a really good event. I definitely want to get you back again on this podcast at another later date.
Yeah,
because
I'm always open.
I mean, there's a ton of info that we can give to people that they can
big
take
time.
back and just use it in their business.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that, and thank you so much for having me be a part of this. And
Yeah, of course. And why don't you go ahead and tell people the best way to contact you?
yeah, so basically, if you want to contact SupportRE, You can go to SupportRE.com, or you can go ahead and call us at 925-339-1435, extension 1. You don't even have to put an extension. It'll go directly to our basically consultation line, and then you can even text us or email us, whatever you want to do. If you want to follow me personally, it's Norman. It's NLK3. I wanted to make it nice and short for everyone, so you can follow me NLK3 on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The long version is Norman Lloyd Kinsey III.
Perfect. And we'll link that up for you too.
Awesome.
And just one thing before we cut off here. Your programs start at $99 a month, which is super cheap for social media, because there's media companies out there that charge easy $500,000 or more per month.
Yeah.
For basic level service.
Exactly.
The fact that you're 99 is awesome. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
We'll have you on back for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Thank you guys for listening so much to this podcast. I want to thank my producer, Sam Lubman, for doing a phenomenal job. And definitely shout out to Norman Kinsey for coming out onto the podcast, CEO of SupportRE. Definitely check him out. He's got some great programs available on his website for any realtors interested in doing business with him. He will be on my Real Estate at Large, aka Real podcast series. We'll be recording and posting a few of these, and they will be going live very shortly. So definitely check it out. Again, thank you for listening. I really want to thank all of you for listening. It means the world to me, and I hope today's episode provides you value in your day-to-day life. I created this podcast to help showcase the many great people that live in this world and help share some knowledge that I've learned along the way in life. Again, thank you for listening. Check out our sponsors, and I'll catch you on the next episode.